Islamophobia is socially acceptable again right here in this clip.
Not going to cry a fucking river when people who have genocide that's baked into their laws are getting genocided. I don't give a fuck. They're terrible people.
What the fuck? Ain't no way he's talking about Palestinians, right? Ain't no fucking way. May as well be watching the whole clip. Most normal Asmon calling for the final solution to the Muslim question. Oh my lord, bro. Asmongold is an organization owner, and one of the people that owns the organization is literally Muslim. How the fuck are you this far removed from like all aspects of real life existence? Like, have a conversation with Tips, man. Please. What the fuck?
It's not even a question. It's crazy that people don't see it that way. They'd be doing the same thing. And how much did they kill? As many as they can. They're not able to kill as many people as Israel because they don't have as many bombs and as many weapons. But if they did, they'd be doing the same thing.
Oh my God, I hate this argument so much, bro. This is crazy. Holy fuck. What is this? This is the full clip?
I want to consider a genocide as a systematic killing of a group of people. They have genocide built into Sharia law.
Bro, oh my God, bro, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Oh.
Right now. So no, I'm not going to cry a fucking river when people who have genocide that's baked into their laws are getting genocided. I don't give a fuck. They're terrible people. It's not even a question. It's crazy that people don't see it that way. They'd be doing the same thing.
Asmongold, come on, dude.
And how much did they kill? As many as they can. They're not able to kill as many people as Israel because they don't.
It's so funny because like this argument literally is basically, you're laughing, but thousands more now believe this and everyone just lets him do it. I'm laughing because his analysis right here is the liberal analysis. When you scratch the surface of like the average American over a certain age and why they are so blind to the obvious dynamic, the obvious inequalities, the obvious inhumanity of Israel's operations, they literally agree with this. They also think this. You only arrive at this conclusion after years and years and years of social conditioning that justify the world, the war on terror, America's war on terror, and the unironic justifications for this war on terror required the dehumanization of Arabs and Muslims and every single person that lives in that part of the region. Because if you were to look at the situation, okay, and recognize that humans are being blown apart every single fucking day so that America can secure oil fields in Iraq, you would go crazy. So you have to either, on the one hand, omit key details, but also every single time you cover the atrocities, have to make it seem like they are, you know, worthy targets or collateral damage that is permissible. Why is it permissible? Because they're not really fucking human beings. Now, I thought we as a society had moved past that point. You know, Joe Biden pulled out of Afghanistan. I thought I was wrong. I mean, I thought that like maybe America was turning a page on Islamophobia. I was wrong. I mean, it was It was wish casting. Okay, obviously those underlying resentments never really go away, and it takes so much more time to actually rewrite and make people understand that, like, no, these people are human beings, right? Having said that, however, of course, it makes sense that he has. Palestinians never hurt anyone. They've been colonized, occupied, persecuted their whole lives. Palestinians are an ethnic group of the Levant. They're not all Muslims or Arabs or Christians. The way they're conflated and generalized, the whole is racist as fuck. If this was done to any other minority, people would be up in arms, wailing like demons. So incredibly racist, peak insanity. Yes. Okay, that is the whole point. But this is the same exact dynamic when Trump says Haitians are eating cats and dogs, even though they are documented immigrants working in U.S. soil. He considers them to be illegal aliens who are eating cats and dogs. Where is that coming from? Do you think it's because Haitians are actually eating cats and dogs? No, it is a group of black immigrants that Donald Trump is using what he perceives as permissible white supremacist sentiment over. It comes from a place of anti-blackness, and the same exact situation exists here. There are no acceptable monolithic groups that are barbaric, and Palestinians are somehow outside of that group. It is just a catch-all for all Muslims or people that are perceived as Muslim because they are from the Levant. They are from the region. They're from MENA. Okay? What you're saying is it gets worse?
Don't have as many bombs and as many weapons. But if they did, they'd be doing the same thing. That's it. Just takes enough. That's right. These people are not your allies. They are not the same as us. They come from an inferior culture.
Asmongold, your co-owner of your organization, you are calling a person from an inferior culture. What are you doing? Log off the internet, stop reading fucking Reddit, and go talk to some real humans, please. I know you could talk to Wake, okay? Talk to Wake. Talk to Tips. Talk to a human, please. This is like, holy shit.
That is horrible. It kills people for their identity, and it is directly antithetical to everything Western values stand for, and it is an inferior culture in all ways. It is that simple.
Bro, this is straight up one-to-one what Nazis said about Jewish people, what like the most right-wing approach to this conversation. This is insane. Okay? This is absolutely nutty. I hold on. Oh, I forgot to answer the fucking. I forgot to respond to fucking Newsweek. Reactionary propaganda. I'm gonna. Okay. Oh my God. I can say that I see Americans as terrible people who have genocide based in their system. This is just like, guys, how can someone not immediately recognize a problem with calling another culture inferior? Americans, man, Americans. This kind of attitude is like American exceptionalism through and through. This kind of attitude, American exceptionalism, literally is the same thing. You're just removing American exceptionalist sentiment that is baked into American society, Western superiority. You're just taking the thing that shelters it and the thing that makes it like the norm. When you remove the outside patina, the skeleton remains. This is the skeleton. This is the bare bones, okay? This is the bare bones of the argument. That's it. This is the bare bones of the argument that like America is the best country on earth. When you remove the outside stuff that makes it, I guess, seemingly more appropriate for liberal consumption, okay, in an otherwise liberal society, this is what you arrive at. You know? I don't think, like, I think he popped off on this, not thinking that, like, this would be, there would be a lot of repercussions for this. I don't think he understands, like, how unimaginably fucked up this statement is. Like, it's not even necessarily a country. You're no longer justifying, like, military action against the country. You are now basically saying like an entire culture is inferior to Western culture. The build up to the clip doesn't just make it worse.
And you know what else is disgusting? That people in the West that enjoy more privileges and freedom than anywhere else in the world romanticize their behavior or their lifestyle as anything other than barbaric.
This is what people think you say about Israel. I know. I know. Like, if you were to say this about Judaism, understandably and rightfully, you would get banned, and you should get banned. Like, if I were to ever say this about, like, if I were to ever say, like, oh, Jewish culture is this way, I would literally be Adolf Hitler, okay? It's fucking ridiculous. For the record, I don't believe that about Judaism, regardless of how much my fucking psychopathic rabid haters try to claim. I believe it.
Thank God I was born with that at all. I know plenty of Muslims that respect gays. Well, I'm not talking about Muslims. I'm talking about people in Palestine. The truth is that that's what they do.
Dude, come on, dude. What? Palestinian culture as a whole? How the... Dude, this is your brain on Reddit. This is your brain on Reddit. If you don't interact with normal people, if you don't talk to people on a daily basis, and the only way that you're getting information from, your only outlet to the outside world is just simply Reddit, you arrive at this conclusion. It's like literally a vector of radicalization against Muslims, Islamophobia, and also specifically Palestinians. That's crazy. It's also additionally ironic when we talk about LGBTQ support, because this community fucking, like, his community hates gay people in representation and shit in, like, video games. So what the fuck? That's the other part of this that I don't understand. It's like, oh, Western culture is so superior. We love the gays, except I fucking throw a fit every time I see them in my video games. If I see a woman in a video game, I lose my fucking mind. But it's bad when Palestinians, I have imagined an alternative reality when Palestinians also do that. And I hate it when they do that. What the fuck? Yeah, his subreddit is really bad. I know. His subreddit just Stormfront 2, and he said this so casually because he knows his chat will love it, and it's just a normal thought for them. Most of us left these Nazi greaseball WoW types in 2007, but they're still around. I mean, this is literally, it's ironic that we're looking at Asmongold because, like, I'm going to cover this in a second with a liberal from a much larger platform, Bill Maher. Like, that is... this is so... this is sad and very frustrating. Palestinian culture, and all he brought up was Sharia law. We know which online forums he logs off on stream. Oh my God.
That's what they do over there. So no, I'm not going to support a group of people that would be the ones doing the genociding if they had the power to do it. I'm sorry to say, I'm not.
The idea that if Palestinians had the capacity to fucking do Israel shit, they would do Israel shit back to Israel is a silly one, because if Palestinians had a nation state with sovereignty and nuclear weapons, then Israel wouldn't be able to do anything to the Palestinians, and therefore there is no fucking world in which they would do the exact same thing back to Israel. You do not know that. All of the Palestinian resistance is within the framework of anti-colonial resistance. That's what it is. Okay? There are methods that you do not agree with. There are methods that I don't agree with. Okay? But ultimately, in the grand scheme of things, who is responsible for the larger harm? Who is radicalizing people into taking action into their own hands? It is obviously going to be the colonial state. It is going to be the larger state. It's going to be the playground bully with a bigger stick. That's it. And there is no world in which, if we were to simplify these terms, you would ever say this about other historical issues, right? Nat Turner rebellion was insanely violent. Ta-Nehisi Coates talked about this with Ezra Klein on his New York Times podcast, where he said, I go back to the Nat Turner rebellion. They took axes and killed white babies. They killed white children. Does that change the dynamic and the overt cruelty? Some historians might even say, and there is back and forth on this, that Virginia was on the verge of the abolition of slavery, and yet the Nat Turner Rebellion was responsible for them not doing so. Okay? But ultimately, the morality of chattel slavery still remains. It is immoral, regardless of the reaction that it has invoked. Okay? That's it. The violent reaction to Israel's 76-year occupation and maintenance of apartheid does not justify the apartheid nor the consistent genocide of Palestinians that Israel is engaging in for the past 12 months. You're misunderstanding him. He's saying that people in Palestine have an innate hatred for Jews. I know. It is fucking ridiculous. I know. It is a way to try and justify Israel's genocide. It is a silly and idiotic sentiment that you can only arrive at if you exclusively fucking hear shit from Reddit. The fear that once the colonial occupation perishes, or once like chattel slavery is abolished, that the victims of chattel slavery will turn around and do the exact same thing to the people that once enslaved them is never borne out in reality. Okay? It's never borne out in reality. It has never happened. The Irish did not go and occupy England, okay? The Algerians did not go and occupy France. Once the apartheid was abolished in South Africa, they did not turn around and occupy, I don't know, England again or the Dutch. That did not happen. I DM'd him. I said, look, I could talk to you off stream or on stream if you want. It's fine. But ultimately, the violent reaction from the Palestinian resistance comes from 76 years of colonial occupation. Okay? It comes from the ethnic displacement of millions. It comes from generational struggle. What am I saying? Struggle. Okay? I don't even understand. There was no historical beef between Jews and Muslims pre-Zionism, for fuck's sake. Exactly. It also is historically incorrect. He's also taken in the context of gay and trans not having rights in Muslim society. He's responding to people having Palestinian trans flags in their handles. Yeah. This is also ironic for two reasons. This is something that I deal with on a regular basis with fucking a lot of right-wing people who have these kinds of opinions. It's like, one, many right-wing people don't want that in America. So what the fuck are you complaining about? And two, there is no opportunity for a gay or trans revolution in these places because all they've known is death and destruction. Okay? You can't get to that stage if you're still, constantly under the violence of a colonial occupation. It's a pretty basic concept. The problem is people don't understand this concept, especially if they live in the Western world, when they've never actually exhibited it, when they've never actually been on the receiving end of it. Okay? That's the thing. That's the reality. When people look to this situation and go, oh, dude, they're fucking not pro-trans or pro-gay. It's like, first of all, there are trans and gay Palestinians that are also getting killed by Israeli bombs. Okay? The bombs don't just like only kill people who are not woke. I don't think that if you're not woke, you deserve to be wiped off the planet anyway. I don't think that. I don't care if you're a right-winger. I don't think we should bomb like white enclaves in Alabama, okay? For exhibiting the same tendency that you imagined all Palestinians have as a monolithic force, okay? That's ridiculous. And last but not least, you can't get to civil liberties and organizing and fighting for civil rights when you're too busy trying to survive under colonial occupation. It's pretty basic stuff when you really think about it, but you don't actually, when you don't have any empathy for these people and you have never actually fucking lived a world where you are under any sort of fucking colonial occupation, you can't comprehend the hierarchy of needs that people have. The number one need when your house is exploding is stop the explosion, okay? As a white leftist in a white enclave in Alabama, please don't bomb me. I'm doing my best here. I would never advocate for that. I don't, just like, I'm not one of those people that's like, oh yeah, Hurricane Milton, good shit. I'm glad it happened in Florida. Like, I don't believe that. I think that's fucking stupid. I want to help everyone. That's why I fucking advocate for Medicare for all. Medicare for all means for all, okay? Everyone needs healthcare. Everyone deserves healthcare, regardless of what their political advocacy is, even if they're fucking assholes, even if they're horrible monsters, even if they're Nazis, okay? Unconditionally. That's why I also believe in rehabilitation. I know you might go off on me, but say what it really is. Hatred and racism. This is racism and hatred. He said it so smoothly and comfortable. He was able to say the same to African Americans, Asians, anyone not white. No, it is. It is racist. It is absolutely racist. No, there's no other way around it. When you think that there is like the problem here is it's not just fucking Asmongold. The problem here is that the motherfucking president, the Democratic Party's leader, has said similar things. Okay? On Holocaust Remembrance Day, Joe Biden went on a national stage and said that Palestinians exhibit an ancient anti-Semitism. Okay? What has become permissible in these spaces in terms of like what you can say about Muslims, what you can say about Palestinians is unimaginable, dude. And I know the alternative is Asmongold could quite literally turn around and be like, you love terrorism, you love Hezbollah, okay? You love the Houthis, and garner a shit ton of support from some of the worst people online, okay? And that's it. That's it. Why do you always say the majority of Americans want a ceasefire, support Palestine? Seems to me that it's the opposite. You think the majority of Americans also agree with Asmongold about video games? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You don't have to invoke the majority. You can have a very outspoken minority that lasers in on these things and are like incredibly passionate. And that's all it takes. Anyway, let me finish this off, and then I'm going to move on.
I don't have any sympathy for them. I'm sure at some degree there are people that are caught in the crossfire. This is sad, but at the end of the day, this is an immoral, evil culture. I truly believe that.
I think there's nothing funnier than saying that the Palestinians live in an immoral culture, an inferior culture, while you live in the United States of America and you are advocating for the death and destruction and the genocide of the Palestinian people. I think that is the most immoral thing you can say. That's it. I think there is nothing more immoral than taking a pro-genocide position and try to justify it by saying, "Oh, well, the people that they're slaughtering are fucking immoral and barbaric and inferior." Holy shit. Like, I know everyone's like, oh, what do you mean? Have you seen Asmongold's bedroom? Like, he's saying that from a fucking house infested with cockroaches. Like, I don't care, okay? I don't care about the fucking aesthetics. I don't care about any of that shit. Like, that shit's for the birds, okay? That's like funny. Haha, I got it. He doesn't drink water, whatever. I don't give a fuck, okay? That part doesn't matter. I mean, that'll get you a lot of fucking likes on Twitter, for sure. But ultimately, I care more about how many Americans also exhibit this tendency and genuinely believe this shit. It's fucking terrifying. Like, saying they're inferior, saying they're evil to justify the death and destruction that befalls them is so fucking horrifying. Why don't you talk to him, bro? I want to. I reached out. We'll see. He might be too far gone on this, especially considering that his business partner and co-owner of the organization that he's a part of is literally Muslim. Like, that's what's so crazy about this. He has people that are in his immediate life that he could talk to, not just Muslim people, but like someone like Wake, for example, who is a brilliant, very smart, very kind, very empathetic person. Yeah, an Iraqi Muslim migrant. Like,